Hello to everyone. My name is Tom Egan. I am with the Cold Pressure Council, and I'm very pleased to have a session today on HPP Innovation Week done by Hyperbaric, which is a Cold Pressure Council member. What we'd like to do today is to have a brief description and discussion about the Cold Pressure Council, and then bring on two members of the Cold Pressure Council, Tom Francois of Hermes Boisson, and also Nicole Lindsley of Steve's Real Food, to speak about their involvement with their products and their business, how they're using HPP, and the involvement on various items with the Cold Pressure Council. What I'd like to do is to begin to say hello to both of the panelists.
Hi, Tom.
Hello.
Hey, thank you. And then to get started. So what we'd like to do then is just give a brief overview. For many of you, it will be the first time that you're seeing any information about the Cold Pressure Council, and we're looking forward to learning a little bit more as we go on. So first, the Cold Pressure Council started just about 4 years ago in 2017 with a number of founding members, and we have a mission statement to lead, facilitate, and promote industry standardization, user education, and consumer awareness. All three of those are very important elements because we have a group that's a highly specialized group of companies involved with HPP, or high pressure processing. And as we work through all the different projects that we're doing and the understanding and awareness of HPP and the many benefits that we have, we want not only on the business to business side and also then on the consumer awareness. And you'll see a website that the Cold Pressure Council developed in order to help with that, and including the use and introduction of a new item called the high pressure certified mark. So high pressure processing, not new to any of you, but 4 elements that the Cold Pressure Council focuses on that HPP can provide, not only food safety, but shelf life, clean label, and taste and nutrition. And certainly that element that we deal with, the taste and nutrition, because of the many benefits that you derive with your products from HPP, is fantastic. Clean label, as you know, is a huge driver for the consumer market now and has been for a few years. And the ability to promote the use of the clean label because of the many benefits that HPP provides is a very, very important element. I think the other one that you'll see and that many have brought up during this Innovation Week has been an aspect of sustainability. And we'll get into that with our panelist a little bit later. The sustainability aspect, meaning that there are constant incremental improvements, and with some of the approaches that companies are using, they are focused on that sustainable element in their business. So that's one more piece, but 4 main elements that we talk about with high pressure processing. Here's a view of the cover page of our website. We have a rotator on the bottom that talks about our annual conference that will be in September, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a later slide. Easy navigation across the top, news and events, podcasts, the guidelines that we have, which are for the high pressure certified mark, of course, our membership, and then additional resources. One of the main benefits of being a Cold Pressure Council member are those additional benefits that you derive from resources that the CPC is able to provide. Another one that's been very big, especially starting back with the pandemic, has been the use of the podcast. And we've been very fortunate in having a number of Cold Pressure Council members share some ideas and approaches they have in their business for these podcasts. All of them are available on the Cold Pressure Council website. Easy listening for any of the files that you want to listen to, maybe some 12 minutes, some up to 18 or 19 minutes, all of them providing some great information that's useful and helpful for the businesses in which we're all engaged. So member benefits, we talked about that. A huge element of the Cold Pressure Council is that voice of the industry. We support the advancement of HPP and are very pleased to see so many companies, not just in North America, but also that we have globally, that are working in HPP and advancing the use of HPP for a whole variety of systems and operations. We want also to do marketing promotion. We want to promote what's happening in HPP and certainly promote the members of the Cold Pressure Council and some of the great products that they're bringing to the marketplace. Of course, as a member, you have the exclusive use of the logo, especially in terms of the business to business or B2B exchange that we have, where you can use the logo in your signature block, use the logo on the website, your own company's website, to talk about what you're doing and how you're doing it. The networking opportunities cannot emphasize the importance of that networking, as we've all seen over such a long period of time. We are networking with other professionals in HPP, learning from them about the intricacies of their business and how they are advancing what they're doing in their business, some new ideas, some new approaches to the marketplace, perhaps a way that they're getting the information across to the consumer about the use of HPP. And there are access to business resources, and this is an important element of being a member of any association. Those business resources go a pretty wide range, one of them being information that's available from other groups that the Cold Pressure Council works with to provide studies that are related to what we're doing in the industry. For example, a member benefit and a new study that's just been released from the PMMI talks about beverage trends, and they have a call out on the beverage and growth of HPP in their report. So while the whole report is not about HPP, it's about the beverage industry generally, we get some great information and a very nice call out about the growth and very strong anticipated forecast for what will be happening in the HPP marketplace. Another element that's very big on those business resources is a pretty unique benefit to Cold Pressure Council members, which is access to a cybersecurity program. And I realize that in today's business, the cybersecurity is a pressure and an issue that we all confront. This particular program is an insurance program. I'm going to leave that more information is available on the Cold Pressure Council website. It is a benefit of being a CPC member, and I think that you'll find that it's a really great benefit to have. So one other element that you have as a member benefit. We have a couple different membership categories. You can see here as a general member, that's really our largest category of membership, and a description of all the information there. Full equipment suppliers, hyperbaric as an example, HPP value-added service providers, third-party service providers, for example, brand owners of processing food and or beverage items, such as the two fine companies that I'll be speaking with just a couple minutes. Associate memberships are other companies that are related to production or services. So these are companies that are providing, for example, materials, packaging materials that come into the marketplace and that we want to have and become very involved with the industry. Trading partner membership is a relatively new category and a pretty important category for the whole of the industry. The trading partner membership are those companies that are more retail facing. They are interfacing with the consumer in terms of actually selling. So think of a big box store or big box organization. Think of various different supermarkets or supermarket groups that could be a trading partner member, because they see the value in what's happening with HPP and want to be able to advance that. The second one that we started just last year, and credit to our board of directors, is a Tier 2 general membership. And as you can see in the write-up there, it's intended for companies eligible for general but have a smaller annual sale. So if you're starting out in the business and still want to be that contribute and be involved with the voice of the industry, this Tier 2 general membership may be the ideal one for you to start out with and to begin the work that you're doing. And then we have some very fine NCOs, or non-commercial organizations. Again, they're right up there in universities or government organizations. And a couple of the speakers that Hyperbaric has for the presentation today are also members of the Cold Pressure Council. For more information, there's the website. Go to coldpressurecouncil.org, and then you can fill out the membership form. Provides the details of each of the memberships, and then make the selection and send in your application. Very, very pleased to have some prominent companies in the HPP space to be on our board of directors and leading the effort for the Cold Pressure Council to grow, expand, and be that voice of the industry. You see the logos there. Many of these have been involved with us since the start of the Cold Pressure Council organization, and they are, because they're so involved in the industry, can really provide some great information and insight to help the whole of the CPC grow. So I mentioned at the beginning of the discussion a little bit more about the high pressure certified mark. And here is important to talk about. This was something that is unique to the Cold Pressure Council. It's a registered mark. We own the high pressure certified, or HPC mark. And it's designed to be used on consumer products that meet certain criteria that have been developed, or the high pressure certified guidelines. So we have a website called highpressurecertified.org that's shown right at the bottom of the slide, and that has information on all of the guidelines. More importantly, the high pressure certified mark, because it's being used on products, we want to be able to promote those products and have a resource for consumers to go. So the highpressurecertified.org website is more consumer facing. It provides more information for the consumer coming in saying, hey, I love this product. I'd like to learn just a little bit more about what HPP represents and why this is carrying this mark. So we have a complete list of the products that are carrying the high pressure certified mark. It's on an easily searchable database, and it's on our public facing website, highpressurecertified.org. A number of different guidelines. The board of directors helps the Cold Pressure Council to identify where another guideline should be developed, and then we continue to post those for the HPC. So here's a look at the homepage of the highpressurecertified.org website. You can see a little bit across the information about what we do, how you get verified, applications that are available for the use of the HPC mark, frequently asked questions. That's sometimes information that a consumer may have. And then, of course, the information that I mentioned just a minute ago in terms of verified products. And you can see here that it's the check mark that says the verified products, an easily searchable database to find all the products that carry the HPC mark. So if there's all these products, then we'd like to say a little bit about them, right? Here's some great examples from some of the member companies that have the HPC mark. And if you look at Suja Juice at Evolution Fresh, they're on the left-hand side, both of them with their beverage products have the HPC mark that's right there prominently on the front of the bottle. It's one of the three marks that are there on the bottom for the USDA, and then, of course, the high pressure certified mark. Going across other companies, Green People in Brazil, I mentioned that Cold Pressure Council is representing and has members that are from outside of North America. Green People is a great example. They also use the high pressure certified mark. Good Foods, with a whole range of different products that have the mark, and you can see it right next to the Tzatziki name right there on the in the center of the page. And then a more recent one, which was on the marketplace now from one of our member companies, Yemet Foods, seaweed, and you can see the high pressure certified mark right on the front page. in the lower right-hand corner of the seaweed product. And then Simply Fresco, a good range of salsas that are available, and those also use the HPC mark. So those are just some great examples in how the HPC mark is shown on the products and easily seen by the consumer when they're making that purchase. Really pleased with those companies and thankful with those companies that have moved forward with the HPC mark. Yeah, I mentioned that we've got a conference coming up on September 28th and 29th in Las Vegas, Nevada. It'll be the first time that the industry is able to get together in person, and we look forward to having you. We are doing the flat out promotion, save your spot. It's going to be a day and a half. When you go to our website, coldpressurecouncil.org, you'll see the information about the conference, including the many different speakers we have. A couple of speakers, again, international, that are coming and presenting because of the importance and the growth of HPP on a global basis. And you see some topics over there, always valuable to see our best practices, the trends, the packaging material insights, a central element of what we have to do, and the regulatory update. So that's a quick overview of the Cold Pressure Council. We're lucky that you become a member, join the CPC, go to coldpressurecouncil.org and learn a little bit more about us, and then put the information together and join. What I'm going to do now is we'll switch back to have an opportunity to introduce our panelists and to then get their insights on the industry and the business. So I'd like to welcome then our two panelists, and Tom and Nicole. We had a couple of technical difficulties there beforehand, so I appreciate your patience and still a smile for both of you. But I did have a chance for any of you over in Europe to talk to Tom, who is based in Paris and is rooting for France in the Euro Cup. So for anybody that's going with that, big smile from him taking a look. And then Tom and Nicole Lindsley from Steve's Real Foods. Nicole, as I mentioned, that's a relatively small segment of the market. We'll get into that in a little while and start to talk about that. But Tom and Nicole, Tom, if you would start, how about a little introduction of you and your company, and also how you got involved with HPP?
All right. Well, Tom, thanks very much for the introduction and for having me today. It's great to get the opportunity to promote the Cold Pressure Council and introduce our company. So, in a few words, I'm the CEO of Herm Boisson, which is a co-packer based in north of Paris. We've been active in the juice and dairy industry for about a century now. And in 2019, we decided to step into a new market with the installation of a whole HPP technology and the installation of the bulk technology from hyperbaric. So right now we've changed from a pure co-packer to a juice producer and bottler with this HPP capability. I think we'll talk a bit more today about the brand that we started to promote this innovation, which is called La Juicerie. So I think in English it's called the Juicery. So you see, it's pretty simple. And I'll be more than happy to give you more information on the whole concept and why we think there are many benefits with HPP.
Great. And Tom, we will follow up on two items that you mentioned a little bit later. One of them being the bulk technology. I think that's pretty fascinating for us, even for ideas about looking at different packaging formats. And the other part, I think it will be, as we go into a couple of other questions, is that whole element of what you're looking at where you started a new brand for this, which I think is pretty big. But let's hear from Nicole. Nicole, welcome, and tell us a little bit about your involvement and Steve's Real Foods, and also how you got started in HPP.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. We're happy to be here. And so Steve's Real Food has been producing raw pet food for 20 years. We started about 1998. However, we didn't adopt an HPP technology until about 2020, I believe it was. And we did that, because we were looking for some solutions for bacteria mitigation. And so with Steve's Real Food, I am the owner operator, and we wanted to look for new solutions in trying to preserve the food and help improve the nutritional benefits of it.
Okay, great. And okay, let's go to the next question then. You had options, and Tom starting a new business and being a 100-year-old company. Why did you select HPP for your products, and what type of benefits did you expect? You said, hey, there's a decision here, a technology. What were some of the benefits that you were looking at for your products being introduced with HPP?
Do you want me to start, Tom?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Well, I think there are tons of benefits. We've been producing juice, pasteurized juice, for about 30 years right now, and we see that the consumers, they want a product that keeps being fresh. So they're looking for fresher products, and that's actually the main benefit of HPP is keeping food fresh. So it's not only the taste of it; it's also, as Nico said, all the nutrients, all the natural benefits of the product that keeps that are kept into the product. So I think that's one of the main interest we've seen with the HPP. The other thing is that I think in the US the market for HPP in juice is growing at double digits. And it's the same in the rest of Europe. So you see countries where HPP has a penetration rate of around 40%. So I mean, the consumers, they want the product, they're looking for it. HPP brings you everything for all the benefits of food safety, but on the other end, you don't have the negative aspects of pasteurization. So to us, it was basically, as I said, we've had a long story, and it's part of it. Always trying to innovate and bring new products to market. So as I said, we have this brand Ajouterie, so that we're promoting, but we're also working with retailers and brands that are already existing, and producing on a private level and for their own brands. So so that's basically what the aspects we've seen for the HPP.
And Nicole, same for you. As the owner operator, it's a big decision that you're making. You have a product. It's as I mentioned, it's a relatively small market segment in the overall HPP, and yet you made the decision. What were some of the benefits you were expecting?
Yeah, so like I said, bacteria mitigation is a really important factor, and we're a raw pet food, so we're taking raw chicken, and the ingredient coming in is going to have bacteria just in its nature, and so we needed to be able to take care of that, so it's safe for humans to handle and pets to eat. And we didn't want to use heat because that would be counterproductive to our product being raw. And so that's the main thing, is a non-thermal process that is reliable enough to produce results that would allow us to handle the Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria that's kind of natural in the ingredients we buy.
Good, very good. All right, Nicole, I'm going to stay with you for a minute because we're doing a follow-up question. What are some of the initial challenges your team encountered with the products? So, I mean, you're starting out, it's a new area. What were some of those elements or some problems that you had to take a look at? And how did suppliers like Hyperbaric help you to overcome them?
Yeah, so one of the main issues we had was color and texture changes in mainly like a beef product. What we do is it's not a final packaging process. We actually grind our food and then put it in bulk chubs, HPP it, take it out of the chubs, and then form it into the final form of the food, which is a patty or a nugget. So because we did that, we found that the combination of grinding it twice and doing the HPP process affected the color and the texture. And so we did work with Hyperbaric to come up with some different things we could use to improve color or to maintain that color. And then we're also looking at some options for not having or allowing us to do final packaging processing rather than having to do it, in the chub. So,
Sure.
so we're working with those two options to improve color and texture.
So a great piece. You realized something that you needed to approach, and here was a way to do it, again, using the team of the different suppliers. And Tom, same question for you. Initial challenges, even with a very experienced company, and you said, what is it that we need to do in order to make this successful?
Well, I think it's a very good question, and I think beyond the challenges that we faced, I'd like to start with one of the good aspects. So, one of the good things is that when you try taste a juice that's been HPP'd, it's totally different from pasteurized. So that's a very good aspect. I mean the whole concept of it's really efficient and works. To go back to your question on the challenges, I think one of the points that we've realized is that on the juice, when you HPP it, you see a dephasing of the juice. I think Nicole spoke about the rawness of the food. So that's actually the principle of HPP is you want to keep the product as raw as possible. And if you keep a raw juice, it dephases. There's this dephasing, that disappears when you pasteurize it. And for the consumers, it's something that's really different. I mean, they've been used to plain juice for quite some time, and now we have to teach them how to realize that this separation of the juice is natural. The good thing is that most of the consumers that we've met and we've discussed during the panels, they realize that the dephasing is the characteristic of a freshly squeezed juice. So I think in the beginning, in the first place, we thought that was something that could be difficult for the consumers, but in the end, that's actually one of the key differentiator of HPP juice for the consumer.
I love the idea. If I understood, Tom, that you did a little panel testing with some consumers to say, tell us about this, right? You're testing something and you noticed it and they said, hey, this is a little different. And yet you were able to not just go through and to identify what it was, but can utilize that and help the consumer understand what that really represents, which is the freshness of the product, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah. Nicole, I'm going to go back to you then. Promotion of HPP. You've got a product out in the marketplace. It's a big investment in order to make the use of HPP. So how do you promote that? I know you have information on your website, but what else do you do to promote the differentiator that you have with HPP in your food?
Yeah, so another unique thing about the raw pet food sector and HPP is that there's actually a negative connotation with it, just naturally in our industry. There was some misinformation at the beginning of a lot of the raw pet food companies adopting HPP. And so our primary thing right now for promotion of HPP is education and basically, myth busting using facts. And with high pressure, the Cold Pressure Council and Hyperbaric has provided a lot of great data driven information. And so we take that and we get that out to our retailers, we get that out to our customers via social media or education programs. And so that's our primary usage of information to improve the message.
Yeah, and Nicole, I think it's a great idea on the social media, by the way. The Cold Pressure Council is very active on 4 platforms, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook. And especially on our Twitter feed, go ahead and put that information out there. We'll make sure that we're retweeting on that. We have some great following, and I think it's important to put that into the social media. Tom, for you, a similar question, though. As you mentioned, you're starting a new brand. So how is it that you're promoting HPP in that with that new brand?
Yeah, I think the way to promote it is we clearly state on the product the way HPP works and what are the benefits of HPP. So you want to be as simple as possible for the consumer. The other aspect is that I think Tom, that we're starting with the cold pressure conceal, and we'll add the logo on our product. I think this logo is a great benefit because it enables the consumer to go on the cold pressure conceal website, get all information that's required, and get also the certainty of how the product is produced, the fact that the guidelines are respected, and that the whole product is very clean in terms of a process and quality side.
Good. And Tom, I'm going to stay with that because this next question is a pretty easy one. You've got your 7-second elevator speech. Somebody says, what is that differentiator that HPP provides that you want to emphasize to your consumer, to your customer? That freshness, what's the one thing this is what it does for our product?
Well, I think you've said it, freshness and transparency of the product. I mean, there's nothing, we don't add anything. It's just fruit, we just squeeze the fruit, put it into the bottle, and that's it. So, I mean, you can't be more transparent than this. It's a clean product, and we're getting, with HPP as close as possible from the raw product itself. So, basically, it's safer than something you can do at home, but it keeps the same characteristic.
Good. And Nicole, same question. That one product, you got the 7 seconds. You say, this is why we're using HPP. We're committed to it, and this is what it does for us.
For us, it's clean label. We're able to extend shelf life without using any kind of preservatives, and actually removed a few different preservatives when we started using the technology. So, like Tom said, it's just it's a simple product with simple ingredients.
That's an outstanding message, right? Simple product with simple ingredients for your pet. An outstanding tagline there. Okay, let's switch to another subject then. Nicole, going to stay with you for a second. How did you select the packaging? That seems pretty straightforward, but sometimes there's some special not sometimes, there are special packaging requirements for HPP. What did you take a look at, and how did you select it?
For us, it was mainly making sure it was BPA free, because we didn't want any kind of toxins to be leaking into the product during the HPP process. And so that's the main thing. However, now we're still looking at different packaging options, and actually appreciated a lot of the presentations yesterday that were given, because we're looking for something a little bit more sustainable, possibly recyclable. And so that's something that is important to us.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think some of the presentations yesterday where they emphasized the sustainability and actually the benefits that HPP provides towards some sustainable options, meaning helping with the sustainable packaging options that may become that are becoming more available in the marketplace, is pretty interesting, right? Because of you're operating at a lower temperature, that you don't have, or that it opens up a broader range of products that you could possibly use for packaging. Tom, I'm going to switch the question for you just a little bit, still in packaging, but you mentioned in your opening presentation, and I said we'd get to it, we want to be careful about time here. What were your initial commercial plans? You decided to go to in bulk. So what was it that you were thinking about when you decided to use this technology for your products?
Well, that's a good question again. So we decided to move with the HPP in-bulk system because as I said, we already had a production site with a linear process, and we wanted to have the possibility to plug the HPP within our production site, basically, and HPP in bulk was the easiest solution. The other thing is that HPP in bulk opens, the packaging formats that can be done. So right now we are able to HPP the product and then fill it into PET, carton, back in box, you name it, any type of formats. Till now it was limited to PET, and with this in bulk technology, we're open to any format.
Yeah, and go ahead, Tom.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I love the idea of the bag and box. I wasn't thinking about that until I saw the information that you had provided. I think that's a pretty fascinating approach then, right? So you're taking it and now allowing a little bit different format than what we have for most of the products that are on the marketplace. Is your team looking aggressively at a bag and box opportunity for your products now?
Yeah, we do. We've already been working on it for quite some time, and we're ready to start with it. So it's basically that's something that's been in the loop for some time, and yeah, we're just trying to see what's the appetite of the market for it. But there will be an appetite for sure. Sure.
I think that one, and I also have to say the idea of a carton approach, again, one of the ones that you took a look at, because it's a very traditional format. It's not a format that's been seen with HPP. So are you planning to launch? Are you already in the marketplace with those? What's the thoughts? Can you share anything for the audience?
Yeah, well, I can't share anything with the audience. It's quite confidential. But we have one of our customer that's planning to start, and that's already on the shelf with a carton format. So yeah, I think in the juice industry, you have to be agile. You need to be either PET but recyclable and recycled. The advantages of carton is the recyclability as well. And yeah, I think that there are plenty of things that can be done. That's the interest of our company, Boisson. We can do many things, and yeah, we're more than happy to work with any supplier, any customer, on any product.
So you heard it here, our Cold Pressure Council member, and they're introducing a new format. Really looking forward to having a chance to taste that as it's in the marketplace. We're just about out of time. Nicole, for you for the last question then, because we've said that the food, that pet food is still a pretty small segment. What are your thoughts about the growth prospects for HPP and the pet food industry in general?
I think you're going to see a lot of growth, soon. The fresh pet food sector is growing quite quickly, and that's where it's going to be used most. The more fresh ingredients we use in our pet food, the more a high pressure process is going to be needed. So I see it growing quickly as the raw pet food and the fresh pet food sector grow within the industry.
Good. Okay, we're just about out of time. So last 15 seconds, any comments that you'd like to make? Nicole, we'll go with you as you've just finished, and then we'll finish with Tom. Last comment.
We're happy that we have the HPP process. It's allowing us to grow as a company and fit within the U.S. regulations that the FDA is requiring.
Good. And Tom?
Well, no, it's great to be here and discover Nicole and this fantastic product. I think HPP has in Europe has a lot of room to improve. We see great opportunity from everybody in the market. So yeah, I mean, thanks for having me, basically.
Yeah, hey, I thank you. I appreciate having the time to spend with our two Cold Pressure Council members and have them describe what they're doing with their business and the use of HPP. We look forward to even more advancements and new product introductions as you continue down your road with high pressure processing. This is Tom Egan with the Cold Pressure Council. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Please remember to go coldpressurecouncil.org. Check us out and plan to join and become a member. Tom and Nicole, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Thank you.